Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything, and I'm coming back at you with another Wargaming and Miniature video. In this video, we're going to be talking about our Quatre project. As you know, if you've been following the channel, or if you're into Napoleonic miniatures, you probably have seen a few of these videos pop up on YouTube. What they are weekly or daily or however often I update based on like what figures I get painted or what terrain I get built or how I build a table or something like that, just to keep you updated on our progress to complete everything we need for the convention of NashCon, where we're going to be running Quatre, which is a Napoleonic scenario using the black powder rules. We're doing it in 28mm, and we could probably take more than 8 players. We could probably take 10 players. It just depends on who wants to play, who shows up. If you're not a veteran of black powder, or if you are, it's all good. Just show up, and we've got a few house rules we're going to throw in there, so don't come in thinking you know all the rules, because you might know all the book rules, but yeah, there are some rules that we've added or changed to cater towards the scenario. Plus, the figure quantities, or I should say the unit makeups, are a little bit different. We're basing it on the actual historical numbers of troops that were present at the battle and not just someone's figure collection. Okay, having said that, these videos let you know our progress. They let you know how far along we are and things like that. Okay, having said that, there's been some cool updates this week that I need to share, or want to share. And I have, as you can see, I've got some buildings out in front of me, right? These were the original buildings that I was going to use for the Quatre game, right? I had ordered these 2 buildings and this building, thinking I needed some extra buildings to flesh out my scenario. Okay, well, this is an actual Dutch farmhouse, but as you can see, this Dutch farmhouse is pretty big. It's probably about 8 inches across, right? And that takes up too much. This is one reason why I was, and you can see it's only primed. I haven't even finished it. It is 2 stories, and it's a great little. It's a great building. I mean, this is probably one of my best looking buildings, to be honest. But it's just too big. It is just too big. So what I plan to do with this building is just discard it. What I was going to, not throw it away, but not use it in the battle. What I was going to use it for was the town of Thule. I was just going to use this one building to represent the entire town of Thule. And I still might, because Thule was kind of on the edge of the battlefield and nobody ever goes there anyway. But if they were to go there, there would be some place they could deploy into. But I still think it takes up too much room on the table. It just won't look like all the other buildings in the fact of how you deploy in them. In this building, you would have to remove the top and put your troops down inside the building. And I don't want that. I had ordered, okay, let me back up. I had also was in possession of this cottage, farmhouse, shack, whatever it is. And this was from Miniature Building Authority. It's a great building. I love this building. It's well made. It's well sculpted. It's durable. But it's American. This is an American farmhouse from maybe a War of Independence or something like that. Okay. Then I was also going to use some of these buildings, which I made these for street-to-street battles, row houses for my bolt action game, which is a World War II game, where these buildings are great in the fact that, you know, you can put troops in there and you can put the roof on and you can stack them and you can have multiple stories, and they're really great buildings. And I did a video on how to make these buildings. But again, it's just a little bit too big. It's probably about 7 inches, I'm guessing. Just a little bit too big. Just not I mean, it's still okay. Yeah, I don't know. There's just like, ooh, it's just not. So let's put that off to the side. Okay, so now I had ordered a couple of these buildings from Tabletop Wargaming or something like that, Wargaming Tabletop, and I ordered these through Warlord Games, just because I thought they looked cool on the website, you know, and they're super not expensive. They're like $19, $20, right? And I go like, are they going to be any good? I don't know. I've never had any of those buildings before. Okay, well, I got these buildings, and there's only like 6 pieces. Right? Well, 7 if you count the base. You got a base, the 4 sides, and then the 2 halves of the roof, right? And in this one actually has a floor, so you got a second story on this one. And this is the merchant house, right? This is the merchant house, which I put it together like in 2 seconds. I got a video of me doing that if you want to check that out as well. But I put this together, I painted it. I think it looks good. I think this would be one of the better looking buildings on the battlefield. I got another one, same company. This is the barn, right? This is the barn, right? It went together. It had the same number of pieces, went together, super easy. I was like, okay, these are pretty good. Then I looked at them and I said, you know what? Their size is only like 4 by 5. And this one, and I think the bases are exactly the same. So I think they're like 4 by 5 each. I said, these are perfect. These are perfect. And then I noticed that that company has a whole line of buildings. Probably about 7 buildings. Probably about 7 different ones, right? So I wanted to replace this gigantic monstrosity. And I also wanted to replace my building that I built. In a pinch, I'll go ahead and use this building. So I ordered a couple new buildings. I ordered the farmhouse, cottage, whatever. It's pretty much same size and shape as this building, except this is the farm, this is the cottage. As you can see, it's only primed. I haven't done anything with it yet. And then I also ordered a stable. The stable, you know, you got the horse windows right there. You notice how they're pretty much the same size and shape. And I was like, this is awesome. They make another building, 2-story building, that is called the Inn. Because this is the merchant house. The other one is the manor house or the inn, possibly. And then they make a chapel. And they make another one. I can't remember what it was called. But I think I'm going to go ahead and get the whole collection. I got these 2, and I already had these 2. I'm going to be able to not use 2 of these buildings. I need a 3rd building. In a pinch, we can use one of these. But I think I'm going to put nothing but these buildings on the table. And one of the reasons why I wanted them to be a little bit smaller floor space is because I'm going to put fences, as you already know, around the buildings to give them their deployment areas, to give them the ground. You deploy in the courtyard and not actually in the building. So that's going to be a thing. All right, and so I also had this other Miniature Building Authority bridge, which they don't make this bridge anymore, and that's unfortunate. I did go look for it and see if they made another one of these bridges. I bought this, I don't know, 10 years ago, maybe longer, and it was like $20. And I said, you know, this is a really good, perfect built bridge for our Quatre broad game. I said, you know what, I can't find that bridge, so I'm just going to go I'll make my own bridge, is what I thought. And then I said, you know what, I'm not going to make my own bridge. And I loved the look of this building. I thought it went together and was really good construction. The MDF from Sarissa. And I bought a wagon that went together really well from Sarissa. And I saw that they had a bridge. And so what I did was I went ahead and I got the bridge. This is the Sarissa bridge. Okay, the Sarissa bridge is a little bit larger than that. Okay, that's no problem. I mean, it doesn't matter because this bridge and this bridge are going to be so far apart, you're not going to be able to compare the two. I don't know, you can't really see it, but I filmed a video of me assembling this bridge, right? And I, step by step, it took me like 2 hours because of the way I filmed the video. And then when I was all done, I went to go stop the video and I realized I had not hit record. So I was talking to a camera that wasn't listening to me. But okay, so I got this bridge. It's primed. You can see it's a little bit wider. This bridge will actually fit inside that bridge. But it's about the same length. It just has like an arch to it. It's pretty cool, and it's wide, and the stonework. I just need to paint it. All I've done is primed it. And this bridge was only like $13, something like that. So that's awesome. That went together super easy. Okay. I've got every piece of, well, that's not true. I have every piece of terrain I need. I just want to get the full collection of these buildings so that I can use nothing but these buildings on in Quatre. Okay, because we got Jimmy and Court. I got 3 buildings in Quatre, and then I've got Thule, right? So that's a total of 5 buildings. If I have to, I'll use one of these buildings, but I think I'll just go ahead and order a couple more buildings. And then I painted those in like, I don't know, 15 minutes. It was meticulous because you got to do each little piece of wood, strut and slat or whatever. But that's really all I did. And I dry brushed the roof. That's pretty much it. Primed it black on the inside, primed it white on the outside, and there you have it. That's pretty good. And they go together super easy. Okay, so that's the buildings. I've done the hedges that I need to get done. They're finished. You saw that video. I got the measuring sticks. Got that done. You've seen that. I've got the terrain map done. You've seen it, right? I've got, what else we got done? We got I got a ton of fencing that I'm going to use for these buildings, but I also have my own personal fences that I made a long time ago for American War of Independence. I still can use I'm going to use those on the Quatre battle. I got a bunch of trees that you've seen. I got the new like 7-inch trees now that they're not all completely foliaged yet. Some of them still look like dead trees. That only takes 2 seconds to put that together. So I did a video on how to do that. I got a bunch of new flock, as you can see right here, and I'm experimenting with different flocks on different projects. I did get some rubber cement, a brand that I've never used before from Lowe's, and I used it on one of my trees because Hobby Lobby did not have Hobby Tack from Woodland Scenics, and instead of waiting to order it or waiting for them to restock, I went to Lowe's and bought some of this rubber cement because I figured it would do exactly the same thing. Well, guess what? It does not. I put the rubber cement on the armatures. I dunked it in the clump foliage, and only about half of it stuck. So I'd have to go back in. It was like more work than it was worth, and it was dripping too. So I don't know. I'm not going to use the rubber cement. That was a failed mistake. So I ordered some Hobby Tack. All right, and we'll see when that comes in. Okay, so we got yeah. I ordered a couple of other things that I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but I said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to take the plunge. We're just going to do it. We're going to do it right. So I ordered from Victrix a box of British artillery. Now, not because it had the British artillery men, and not because it has the British artillery guns, even though that is super cool that it has those in there, and it made the purchase a bonus, but because it had 3 limbers. It had 3 limbers in it. And I'm going to put those limbers on their separate bases. I've got some horses left over from my American War of Independence. I've got a ton of horses, and I'm just going to put them on the base with a couple of these not soldiers, I guess they're artillerymen. I'm going to put a couple of artillerymen on the base with the limbers, just to just to flesh it out a little bit, and then give it a little bit of life, because the the horses aren't running off all by themselves somewhere. And then I'm going to deploy a limber piece and an artillery piece together, and you'll know when your gun is limbered because you'll have the gun on the limber, and yeah. So otherwise, what we're going to do is take the artillery piece and turn it around, but I'm kind of not digging that idea. I'm kind of digging the whole leave the gun separate, loose, and individually mounting the artilleryman. Even though I only have one artillery piece done right now, and it's got 4 guys and a gun, I could easily take that and put it on the shelf somewhere and put all my artillerymen individually mounted. That way they wouldn't have a base. But I'm probably not going to do that. I mean, it kind of says you can do that in the Black Powder Rulebook, but I think I just want to have an artillery gun and then a short limber instead of having a long limber that you would have put the artillery piece behind. This way, I could glue the gun down to the gun crew model, and then when you place the limber, that'll denote that it's limbered. But I don't know if I'm going to do that either. I probably won't do that either, because then that would limit limbering to only when you had enough limber pieces. And I've only got 3 British coming in. Okay, so I also decided, because I'm doing the British limbers and haven't really thought about it, so I went ahead and ordered 3 French limbers. Now these I ordered through Perry individually. Now this is another thing. The French limbers come with guns, but no crew. So, I mean, you got the limber crew, you got the guys on the horses or whatever, or sitting on the limber. And I was like, but those aren't manning the gun. And these are extra guns, because I've already got guns with crew. So I ordered a pack of crew. Actually, I ordered 2 packs of crew, which would make 12, which would be 4 crew if I put like 4 per base. So there, I just got extra 3 French guns. But I'm not going to worry about all that. I really ordered all that because of the limbers. Those guns will just be extra, so if we ever need to do a grand battery in the future, I'll have those and I can put them together and we'll be good to go. So after Quatre Bras over with, I'll be taking my remainder of my forces, like all the cavalry pieces that were extra, that I didn't need, and paint those up. Or the artillery piece, or the generals, or whatever. Any piece that I have that's extra after Quatre Bras, I'm going to paint them up. A lot like my French, because I have a ton of French, and I will put those together and paint them once I get all the British done. And that's mainly because even though Mike's doing the French, he's not doing all the French. He's doing like 2/3 of the French, which is a lot. But just because he's doing the French doesn't mean I'm not going to do the French. I'm also going to do the French. It's just that because I want to have a collection for my own personal self of French and British and Allies. And I've even started thinking about maybe getting some Prussians, just because. But I'm going to hold, I got to put the reins, I got to pull the reins and hold off until after Quatre Bras to worry about any of that. Yeah, these Napoleonic figures, I've really been digging painting. I've really been excited about painting them. Okay, so let's recap real quick. Got the buildings coming in. I got some limbers coming in. I ordered some more Nassau too, but I'm going to put them on the shelf. Okay, let's talk about this real quick. Let me talk about my Nassau troops real quick. There is a division, Perponcher's division. He's actually the first division to fight at Quatre Bras. He's not represented in our game. And the reason why that is because I initially went off of the Warlord Games, Albion Triumphant Book 2, starts the battle after Perponcher has been swept from the field, pretty much, right? If I really wanted to simulate the entire battle, I would need to have Perponcher's division made and deployed, and let the French sweep them from the battle, right? That's going to put some damage on some, because Perponcher did a good job. He's going to put some damage on the French, which is not represented in our battle. So I need to make Perponcher's division if at some point we want to do the whole battle and not just the end of the battle. So if we do that, I need to get Perponcher's division, which the Nassau, there's a couple of Nassau brigades in that, well, there's a, not division, I guess brigade. Perponcher's brigade. Is it a division? I don't even know anymore. The numbers. Okay. But there's some Nassau, right? And I think there's some militia in that unit, Dutch-Belgian militia, which, I don't know what's in that unit. And some guns, and some what else? He got some Jaegers maybe or something. I don't remember what he's got. Okay. But, some cav. So when Perponcher, he's got like 3 brigades. I don't remember. But in the game we're playing in NashCon, and based on the Albion Triumphant book, what they're saying is that Perponcher gets pushed off into the woods, the Bazou Woods, which is right at the edge of our table, right? So technically, Perponcher is fighting right off the table. He's in the woods. He's in the Bazou Woods fighting the French off the table. And then the players are controlling everything that's in the clearing, basically, in front of Quatre. I think that's kind of a cool concept, because that way you don't really have to deal with having to fight in the woods, and because nothing really happened in that battle. Perponcher basically held the woods. The French had a number of attacks against the Perponcher's division, and nothing happened. Okay, so Jerome is our scapegoat. Jerome Bonaparte, basically. He's the guy that's in the woods fighting Perponcher. So why is he in this scenario that he's in the scenario that Warlord Games put out in their Albion Triumphant book, when he should be just taking, if you're going to take Perponcher's division out, you might as well take Jerome's division out, right? And guess what? That's what we're doing. We're taking Jerome's division away. He's going to be in the woods, hypothetically, fighting. Now, there's a rule about, I don't want to, this is spoiler. This is spoiler alert right here. But there is a rule in the scenario book about possibly losing a division to go help the fight in the woods. Well, it's not helping the fight if Jerome is on the table, because he's the one that's doing the fighting. So it's like, just take him out. So that's what we're going to do. Jerome is just gone. He's fighting Perponcher in the woods, not having any luck. I personally like the Nassau troops. So I just think they're cool. They're all green, bright green and stuff. And they're, I don't know, I just like the way their uniforms look. So I thought that I want to do the Nassau troops, right? So, but I'm going to hold off till after the convention, and then we're going to rearrange this battle, maybe do it a different way. I know this video is going on a little long, but I just wanted to share this with you. I took the map from the Albion Triumphant pretty much and said, we're going to do that battle, right? Without doing any research first. I should have realized how the Quatre Bras scenario was laid out and how they arranged the troops before I made the map, and before I committed to like how many of each type of troops we're going to need and use, because next year it's going to be different. We're going to probably run this run this battle again next year. When we do, I'm going to have a different map, and we're going to use different allocations of troops, because we're going to use the Jerome. We're going to use the Perponcher. We're We're going to have their divisions. We're going to have the Bazoo Woods on the table. And maybe not Thule on the far end of the table. Because Thule, nobody ever goes there. Nobody ever does anything at Thule. But I don't know why we went from the Bazoo Woods to Thule when I should have shifted the map over a little bit and incorporated the Bazoo Woods and maybe just the bridge at Thule. Put that on the edge of the map instead of like 2 feet into the map. You see? So we're gonna change it up a little bit next year. That means I'll probably need more trees. Actually, no, I'll still have all those little bitty trees, so we'll still be able to use, so it'll be good. Okay, and then, oh yeah. Last thing. I went ahead and finished the 6th Dutch Hussars, and the 5th Belgian Light Dragoons. They're finished. So what I'm going to do after this, I'm going to flock these up real quick, and then I'll give you the real close-up shot on these guys like I always do. And we'll also show you I'm probably showing it to you now, the troops and where they're at. All right? Let's take a look.